Hey again, YouTube. Thanks for tuning back in. This is going to be another chapter in the saga of the 60 clone board. It's been performing admirably, but there's a couple things I wanted to undo and some stuff we got to add to it. So, without any more looking at my face, let's look at something worth looking at. So here's the board again. Some things have been added, some things removed. So just to catch everybody up, this is the board I added protection on the CIAs to. So we got those boards under the CIAs with some TVS diodes, as well as the little boards you tack on right underneath the joystick port. So I'm double protected. I'm sure that's overkill, but hey, that's what I do here. Moving on. If you notice, the VIC-2 squared is gone, and it's a neat little project, and it was cool to play with, but it the whole point of this board when I built it to begin with was to make the video as clear as possible, and that VIC-2 board, VIC-2 squared board, I guess it is, having that on there added more places for noise to get induced into the chroma and luma lines. In addition to that, having two different VICs in the machine, even though the other VIC wasn't active, it still seemed to be generating a little bit of heat, and there's no need for more heat, especially in the VIC section, man. That thing gets hot to begin with. So that, a little bit extra noise in there, the heat being what it is, and eventually I want this board to fit in a 64C case, and it's just not going to fit in there. So I pull that board out. I'll probably use it on another machine, or I might just convert another machine to PAL and have a PAL machine and an NTSC machine. But at any rate, pull that out, got rid of the DuPont headers, put new coax in here. This is some 174, RG174. I stole off a patch cable I had for something on my ham setup that I wasn't using. So we sacrificed a cable to have some good clean VIC signals. So putting it back this way, I think is just the way to get the cleanest signal out of the machine. I just slathered it with a bunch of hot glue there and there, just as strain relief to keep that stuff held down, and it's pretty solid. This stuff ain't going anywhere. I can probably pick up the machine by it if I wanted to. Also pulled out the original PLA that I had in here and replaced it with a GAL PLA, and on this GAL PLA I added an extra male DuPont header that is tied into the XROM line. So that makes it a little easier to get in and out if I got to do any other work on the machine, instead of having a wire tacked directly onto the leg of the little PLA that could. But this is a good chip. I'll keep on hand. Oh, excuse me. A lot of pollen in the air today. So yeah, this is a good 82S100. If you can see that. The lighting sucks, the focus sucks. Sorry. Anyway, it's always good to have a spare. So I think that catches everybody up on the state of the machine. And if you notice, the SID is missing. And the SID that came out of there, he was a new old stock chip I had for 100 years laying around in the basement. And it was the R4 AR model. It sounded absolutely excellent. Probably the best sounding SID I've ever heard. But pulled them out, put them to the side for now. Maybe we'll use them on another machine. You can never have enough SIDs. But the real topic tonight is the ARM2SID. So I ordered a few of these. I ordered one ARM2SID and a couple of ARM SIDs. I had some other machines with grungy sounding SIDs and whatnot, so I put it in there and it sounded pretty good. Some of the noise channels, some of the noise voices didn't sound 100% like the original. So I emailed the support address, and Martin wrote back to me in like no time flat. Those guys are absolutely freaking awesome, and he asked me to do some comparisons. So I wanna set this machine up with the ARM2SID, get it all wired in, so I can do 1, 2, 3 SIDs, or 2 SIDs plus an FM synth, or whatever you want to do. This is just absolutely cool device, and he's very interested in supporting it and doing updates and everything else. Like I said, those guys are awesome. So we'll get this machine all equipped up. I have another machine with a R4 ARM2SID in it, and we'll do some comparisons on a game. That'll probably be a separate video. He asked me to do some recording, send it into them, and they'll see what they can do to get it sounding even better. So if this was just the ARM2SID, installation would consist of plugging it in and you're done. But the ARM2SID on a what we'll call a stock board or an original style board, not to be confused with the whatever those other ones are, those firmware updatable FPGA boards, retro, whatever they are. I don't even know what they are. But they'll have 2 SID sockets in them and whatnot. This one does not. So you get a pile of wires to solder in, and what is it, a couple of diodes, a resistor, and a cap. And this will go real nicely into this machine because the modulator has a spot for a second SID, a second channel to be output in the audio. That way we can have actual stereo sound coming out of this thing. So we've got the ARM2SID plugged in, and now if I was smart, I'd have moved my camera around so I could do this right side up. So I am upside down from the camera, so I'm gonna look a little challenged trying to do all this stuff here, but we'll get this little guy plugged in there. Snaps in like so, and now we got to figure out where to run all these wires to. I want to try to keep it as clean as possible, so I know there's a couple lines that have to go to the CPU right next to it. You could just come around and tack it right onto the legs there, but what I will probably do is maybe we'll use that hole or possibly that hole there between the 2 jacks, and we'll route them to the underside of the board and tack it on down there, and I think that'll just be a little cleaner and out of harm's way when I start doing other ridiculous things to this machine. Something else we'll have to do is desolder this header for the second channel, and we've got to run a couple of these lines over there. There's a ground there I might tie into, as well as the signal for the other channel. So let's read the manual. Typically I don't read manuals, but they did an excellent job putting together documentation for this thing. So let's use their manual. They put a lot of work into writing this thing. So let's see what they say. So all right, being that I got to do this upside down, put the manual right next to it, and let's see here. So this is our audio right and our ground. So these are the guys that are going to have to come over here to the modulator. So let's, first things first, let's get rid of the crap we don't need. Let's pull this header off of there. We don't want him hanging out anymore. So I think we'll go the divide and conquer route. I don't feel like desoldering the entire modulator. We'll clip him in half. We'll get the little plastic bits off of there, hopefully carefully enough, without breaking anything. It came off easy enough. Get the desoldering pump warming up, and let's see here. We need a pair of pliers and a hot iron, and we're going to get these pins out of here. I could just put a DuPont connector on the end of that wire, but I'd rather tack them right in there. Those DuPont headers like to get loose when you use them as singles like that. Maybe we'll flux him up real good and put a little bit of fresh solder in there. I think that'll get him out a little easier. Yeah, they freed up with a little fresh solder. Don't need him. Don't need him. There's a little bit of solder left in those holes, so let's clean them up. Come on, buddy. Might have to reflow him one more time just to get the rest of the junk out of there. He just doesn't want to clean up. I won't be able to sneak the new wire in there anyway. There's not much left in that hole. So let's see, how are we going to route these bad boys? So according to our diagram, put that there. Where can we put him? So yes, the far wire is going to be the right channel audio, and that's him. So how do we want to route this so it doesn't turn into a frickin' rat's nest? Going to be our audio in. Yeah, so let's just tack him in right there. There we go. Tin him up a little bit. So I know this would be a lot easier if I just pulled the modulator, but I'm lazy and don't feel like resoldering it. There we go. Yep, he's solid in there. And then the wire right next to him is a ground wire. So we'll run him over and ground him right off to the modulator. Honestly, there's so many grounds on this machine, you probably don't even need it, but we're going to run them there anyway. We'll pull the slack out of these guys later and secure it under the board. Don't want to have to cut the wires unless I have to. I like to keep them long just in case. If I was smart, I would get my actual wire strippers. Right tool for the right job, they say. My high school shop teacher would be so proud of me. Alright, there we go. Got a little tin on there. I want to shorten him a little bit. Just a wee bit too long. Leave random bits of metal in there. That's when bad stuff happens. And there we go. We got right audio and ground. Alright, we're going to save the hard one for the end. Let's be lazy. So, all the way on the other end, this is address line 8 goes to CPU pin 15. Here's another one. There's got to be a way to route them there all nice and clean like. And go underneath. I don't want to solder right to the chip. So with my luck, the chip will blow out and I'll have to resolder it anyway. Alright, so here's this guy. Here's our CPU. It's going to be CPU pin 15. There's pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yep, we got the right one. I like to count from both sides just to make sure I didn't skip a pin. There has been a little liquid encouragement in my diet today. We're just going to strip ever so much. I don't want too much metal hanging out down here. A little more. There we go. Just the tiniest bit. Get some tin on there. CPU 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Put a little bit of fresh solder on pin 15 there. And alright, looks like we got a winner. See how all this winds up. But for now it seems like a good idea anyway. Alright, the next line is going to be A5. That's CPU pin 12. So here is our A5. That way the CPU can directly address this guy and do all kinds of neat SID tricks. Again, strip a tiny bit. Got a little tin on the end of them. And he was pin 12. So again, let's count one more time just to make sure we're not going insane. That's pin 1, so that's pin 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Something else the shop teacher would be happy about. Measure twice, cut once. That's how that's supposed to work. Right, there we go. Got our address lines. Alright, and then this little piggy, he needs to go to pin 5 on the expansion port. That's the read-write pin. So this guy, maybe we won't go underneath, because we can tack him right in there too. We might just sneak this little guy right under the modulator. Fingers are too fat to get in there. Maybe we'll coil him up once. We'll just hide the extra under there. Nobody will ever know it's there. I feel like Bob Ross and his happy little trees. That's You're in my little secret. Alright, so we're doing pin 5. It's nice the board's marked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go, get a little wire. A little juice on the wire. Fresh solder on number 5. This is really hard to do upside down. Got some read-write action going. And the last one, this is the one where you got to get a little creative. So pin 10 and pin 7 on the expansion port. That's basically, if you want to use this third SID that's in here, the third address, or whatever you want to call it, if you want to use that for an FM synth or a third SID, I want to be able to go back and forth, so that's where I forgot the cap. We're gonna have to redo him, but to finish this one off, you can put a couple of diodes in there to keep signal going just the way you want it, depending on how it's being addressed. And for that, they gave us 2 diodes and a resistor. that we build a little circuit there that'll go between pins 10 and 7 on the I/O port. I think I'll pause recording here. There was a good diagram of this. Oh wait, actually here it is, never mind, it's on the other side there. So we can just build ourselves a little bridge there out of the legs on the components that were included, and we'll just have a cute little circuit hanging off the end there. That'll look nice. In fact, they give you a good picture in there on how to do it. Alright, so it looks like the resistor comes off pin 2. Because pin 2 and 3 both are actually 5 volt. So we can trim our resistor down quite a bit so he doesn't need to stick off there very far. We're going to go right to pin 2. Probably should have done that first. That's what I get for being lazy. Sneak this wire out of the way so I don't melt it. Cap right there will hold him for us. 10 on him. Well, 10 on pin 2. There we go. A nice little blob of solder to hold our resistor to. There we go. Got a 5-volt tap. So our diodes need to go right onto 7 and 10. Which way do they go? Alright, they block towards the port. Yep. So we'll cut these guys down nice and short. There's our 2 little resistors. This might wind up being a boring video. I'm just going to be sitting here listening to me talk to my damn self. Alright, so where are these going? 7 and 10. That black wire is on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It sure is. So we need to go to 7. Nice. 8, 9, 10. Sorry about that. Headbutt the camera. So 1, 2 has our 5 volts. 3, 4, 5 has our read right. 6, 7 has some 10. 8, 9, 10 has some 10. Alright. Let's whack our little diodes in there. Nice. we go. We got our diodes. And basically, we'll just come right across with the resistor leg. And our last little wire. Here, we can just tack and put the wire right in the middle. That seems like a halfway decent way to do this. Looks good. Trim that up. Trim you. Let's hope the whole thing doesn't fall apart when I add a little more heat to get this wire on there. Yep, that is the right wire for this. Come on, get in there, little buddy. Oh, come on. There you go. Let's do the same thing. We'll put a coil in there, help manage it. Under there. Guess that's the old cable guy in me. Always leave a service loop in case you got to come back and screw with it later. A little bit of tin. You out of the way. Tin. I don't want this guy sticking straight up the top. We'll have him come out the side. And there we go. If I would have remembered the cap the first time around, we'd be done. So this little cap is just kind of like a, I guess, a filter cap that goes on the audio line. Let's see what the book says. Audio right channel usually connects to pin 7 of the AV DIN jack. Well, we're not doing that here because we have our modulator with audio out. But the same thing applies. We suggest to add 10 microfarad 10 volt electrolytic cap between ARM2SID and audio right output and the jack. Separate, it's like a decoupling cap. Separate the DC component from the ARM2SID audio output. Capacitor positive pin should go towards ARM2SID. Alright, so here's our audio line going in. He's easy enough to deal with though. A little bit of heat, he'll come right out. Wants the positive going towards the ARM2SID. So where is our cap? We'll take the negative side, and we're going to have to clip quite a bit off of him so he'll go down in there. So we'll just lay him out to the side like that for now. Here's our negative side, the short leg or the stripe or the minus sign. 100 ways to figure out which side's negative. So we're going to want to trim him considerably. I don't want it sticking down underneath there and sticking into something it's not supposed to. So here we'll do it about like that. So So we can leave them stick up off the board just a hair so we can actually solder it. And see what we can do here. A little bit of heat and you ought to go right in. Goes. And just a tiny bit more solder in there, make sure he ain't going anywhere. Yeah, he looks good, just like that. And then here, we'll take our little wire, we'll trim him back some. Tack him down right there on the edge. Lay him down good and flat so he's not sticking up everywhere. There we go. Give him a little trimmy. We are installed. Wonder if it's going to catch on fire when we light this bad boy up. Here, let's do some wire management here, just temporarily. I'm sure this thing works. We'll do a better job of tacking all this stuff down here, but you know, a little bit of tape, and he'll be good to go. Well then, let's kick over to the S-video. And let's see here, our power switch is off. Got some juice here. This ain't gonna work too well because I don't have proper audio set up here. All I have is the DIN connector, but at least we can fire the machine up and make sure it doesn't explode, right? So yeah, moment of truth. Hey, it still boots. Gotta love that. So let's put in a diag cart, make sure our cart slot still works, and maybe get the SID to make some noise. Probably won't hear the other channel. It's not configured or any of that yet, but let's just make sure we're getting something out of it. Come on. This will just be a sanity check. We'll actually config this thing up and see how he does. Alright, we got a winner. So far, anyway. I'm just glad the little guy boots up. Alright, we'll probably stop recording here. I'll assemble this into something that looks like a machine. Get something tied into the audio jack, and we'll start playing with SIDs here in a little bit.